What's going on, everyone? So all this back and forth speculation on the Lakers. Will they get Andrew Wiggins? Are they not going to get Andrew Wiggins? They're talking about trading for Andrew Wiggins. And then it's like, nah, they're not talking about trading for Andrew Wiggins. Look, Andrew Wiggins comes, he comes. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Talked about there will be other options out there. There will be other opportunities out there. We've even talked about, I don't even know what the Lakers necessarily need, kind of like the top tier or higher end tier type of wing, because you have Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, LeBron James, and DeAndre Ayton, to where if you can keep Rui Hachimura and go get like a Matisse Thybulle, or maybe a Matisse Thybulle and a Hayward Highsmith, something like that, where now you're getting multiple guys that might actually be better for the Lakers because they can kind of just slot into that 3-and-D role, where some of the best traits of Andrew Wiggins is his ability to just go get a bucket, right? He can go put the ball on the deck, go get you 20 on any given night, rather than playing within a role, right? You see Rui Hachimura has kind of just been relegated, and I expect him to kind of more than maybe ever kind of get relegated to just that catch and shoot 3-point shooter. And we know Rui can go get buckets. We know Rui's got one of the best mid-range games in all of basketball, like literally, right? So he's a guy that I do think, if you can get a Wiggins, sure, right? I'm not against it, but it has to be at the right price. It has to make the most sense. But got reports about from the anonymous executives or whatever that like, hey, I would be shocked and appalled if Pat Riley would trade Andrew Wiggins to the Lakers because of LeBron James, and he's still upset and he's still bothered about LeBron James, and that he doesn't see that happening. One, it's always the random anonymous executives, right? Which I bothers me so much, right? Like that we have because it feels all made up. It feels like, it's just like the same thing when you get the reports, like people close to the situation. Like, who is that? Was it like the janitor walking by that just happened to eavesdrop? Or, is it the GM? Like who is the person close to the situation? But I digress. Point is, right? One, get over it. If you're Pat Riley, move on, right? Like the thing that I think is funny is that suggests that Pat Riley is more concerned about LeBron James and LeBron James winning again over what is best for his own team. If the best situation for his own team that he's running and putting them in the best position is to make a trade with the Lakers, and we'll touch on why that is here in a moment, and LeBron James is the thing that holds him up and keeps him from doing so, then if I'm Miami, I'm firing him immediately because you're too emotional, right? Like at that point, you're far too emotional because you're not willing to do the right business deal. There's no emotions in business. That's why people talk about Danny Ainge would never trade with the Lakers, right? And he's made more trades with the Lakers than anybody. Or Sean Marks would never make trades, and Sean Marks has made several trades, right? You get Pat Riley, again, business, or Charlotte, right? Charlotte would never do business with the Lakers again. Again, there's no emotion in business, right? If what is best for your team is to make a deal with the team that you dislike, then you do it, right? Like Portland, teams like this, if they can get something for Matisse Thybulle rather than just letting him walk for nothing, then why in the world do they do that? What, just so they don't trade with the Lakers? You'd rather not get an asset and a pick than do that? Well, then you need to be fired as a GM. I'd feel the same way about Rob Pelinka or any GM if that's the case. Your job is to do what's best for your team and organization despite what the trade is. Right? Yes, if you can make a similar trade or maybe even slightly less to trade with somebody that you'd prefer, then yeah, of course. A lot of teams do that. A lot of GMs do that. Right? You'll see we could get, X, Y, and Z from the Lakers, or we can get X, Y, and we don't really need Z, so let's just do this trade over here, and then we don't have to trade with the Lakers. Yeah, if something like that happens, then sure, I expect them to have that. But if the best option and the only option is on the Lakers, right, then you do it. Right? Which is why I am very confident that if the Lakers do want to go trade for Andrew Wiggins, they'll be able to trade for Andrew Wiggins. Because I just don't think there's going to be other teams without a doubt that want Andrew Wiggins. I wholeheartedly believe that there's probably a dozen teams that would love to go trade for Andrew Wiggins. But it's not as simple as just trading for Andrew Wiggins, because Miami doesn't want to just take on players, take on salary, things like that. Next season, he's going to be a $30 million contract, which, don't get me wrong, he'd be an expiring contract, so I do think that there would be some value in that, but you still have that $30 million on the books for a team that's trying to work stuff out. And then at that point, if teams know you're desperate and you need to get off of it, guess what? Now it's going to cost you. Just like Haywood Highsmith. Haywood Highsmith is literally a third of what Andrew Wiggins' contract would be next season. Right? And he's an expiring going into this year and a veteran player that every team in the league would love to have. And Miami still had to give up an asset to get off of him. Right? Like, so again, it's circumstances. Like, people know if you're desperate, guess what? It's going to cost you. Right? So, yes, I do think other teams would be interested in trading for Andrew Wiggins, but how many teams have exactly what the Miami Heat are looking for? Right? So, again, if you're a team that wants Andrew Wiggins, not only does Miami need to find a team that wants, values, and is willing to give up stuff for Andrew Wiggins. Yes, if you want to just attach some salary, or not some salary, some assets to Andrew Wiggins, if you want to attach a first to Andrew Wiggins, every team in the league would probably take him at that point. But that's not what Miami wants to do. Miami doesn't want to give up assets in order to acquire him. So you need to find a team that doesn't look at it as a salary dump, that is looking at it as an actual value trade to improve their roster, is willing to take on his $30 million next season, plus his salaries this season, also match salaries in order to do that. Oh, and by the way, Andrew Wiggins has to want to go to that team because he has a player option next season, which myself and most people, I think, assume he's going to take it. But if he goes to a team like, Charlotte or Utah or something like that, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he goes like, hey, I don't want to be on this team. I don't want to be on a bad team. My years are dwindling here. Right? I want to be on a good team. And if he can go and opt out and go sign a new deal, with the team like the Lakers in the offseason for, whatever, 3 years, $16 million a year, something like that, and be like, oh, I make an extra, $18 million, and I get an extra 3 years at it. Maybe he does something like that. So you need to also find a team that he wants to go to. And oh yeah, by the way, and to round it out, Miami also doesn't want to take on long-term salary. So yes, there are a lot of teams that could go trade for Andrew Wiggins, but there's not a lot of teams that would trade for Andrew Wiggins, give up assets, send back expiring contracts only, or mostly, right? Because the Lakers could do Dalton Connect, where he's not an expiring contract, but he's cheap enough to where you'd clear most of the salary. You'd clear 26 million or whatever next season, right? So if you're the Lakers are one of the few teams, if not the only team, that checks off every single box. Now again, maybe Pat Riley, his situation changed, or maybe he ends up finding a team that's like, hey, I really want to get off of this guy who has 3 years on his deal, and we can go get Andrew Wiggins, who's an expiring contract next season. Or maybe you find a team that's like, hey, we can call his bluff on the player option. If he opts out, we're still good. But are you going to get assets that make sense? Because again, if you find a team that is willing to take the risk or whatever, they're not going to want to give up the players and assets in order to get that, because if he just walks, now they're out of it. So you're not going to get a first for Andrew Wiggins from a team that has even a thought that he might leave, right? Or you're not going to get a first from a team that, isn't willing to take on his long-term salary, or you're not taking on contracts, right? The whole argument all offseason, words are hard, is that Miami wants to clear salary to be big players next season and kind of, make moves and whatnot, right? Well, you need expiring contracts to do that. Just so happens the Lakers have a ton of expiring contracts, right? They have enough to go trade for Andrew Wiggins in just expiring contracts, right? So you can work it out to where it's like, hey, here's all expiring contracts. Not many teams can do that. Not many teams have that. Miami's one of the teams that actually does, in a Terry Rozier or something like that, but they can't trade with themselves. So again, if you're the Lakers, you are in many ways in the driver's seat. Miami's just playing hardball, which again, they should, especially this early on, right? Go into the season, be patient, let things develop, let things kind of take and run its course, and then, evaluate how you want to go. And that's that. Andrew Wiggins isn't great, or Miami isn't very good, that could put the Lakers in even more of a driver's seat. Right? Because now if teams are like, hold up, maybe maybe the Lakers would still be willing to do the Andrew Wiggins trade, but now it's like, hey, we'll just give you the expirings. Andrew Wiggins has not been great. He's not been efficient or whatever, because you also don't need him just for his scoring, right? Miami needs him to score. Miami needs him to be really good, especially without Tyler Hero for, who knows how long. So if you're Miami, you're looking for a very different role from Andrew Wiggins than the Lakers would be. So if Andrew Wiggins isn't this like ideal player this season, that could give the Lakers even more leverage to where it's like, hey, I'm not giving you even a second. Like, you had your chance in the offseason, you blew it. Right? Now, good luck trying to trade him or keep him on your books next season. And then you can try to trade the $30 million expiring contract at the trade deadline next year, and you have another season wasted. Right? Like, it's foolish to think that because Pat Riley is upset that LeBron left him, right? Like, get over it. It's like being jealous and envious of a girlfriend from 10 years ago. It's like, dude, move on. Like, you got better things going on in your life. You need to kind of get your act together. Right? Don't worry about what they're doing. And LeBron James' time is limited. And Andrew Wiggins alone might not be enough to even do anything, right? Like, I think the whole narrative is just silly, right? Like, they were Pat Riley. I'd be shocked if why? It might be his only option for what he wants to do and needs to do. The whole point is they need to clear and shed as much salary as possible, right? They want to be in position to try to lure guys like LeBron or Harden or whatever to their team next season to try to elevate that team enough to now be a title contender. Right? Like, if you're worried about LeBron James this year, you're not winning anything this year anyway. Like, whether LeBron might win a championship with or without you, right? Like, it's a silly narrative. And if that's really true, if I'm Miami and I really believe that, I'm sorry, Pat, you're gone. Because I can't have emotion attached to business. Right? That means you'd rather this team be terrible and continue in the direction that they are heading than make a move to correct it, because you're too emotionally attached to LeBron James. Like, it's silly. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.